the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in a 90-meter band between 1230 UTC and 15450 kHz, and in the 49-meter band between 1930 UTC and 5945 kHz to Europe. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 2130 UTC in the 31-meter band on 9875 kHz to South Asia and Australia, and in the 25-meter band on 11660 kHz between 1630-730 UTC to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites on the internet at www.trtdinle.com through the links, radios, and then the Voice of Turkey. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr.
Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of August, 2023. This is the news in English on the Voice of Turkey. Asad Niger Prime Minister calls for international help. Niger Prime Minister Oumoudou Mahmoudou called for international assistance against the pushists in his country. In a statement to the press, Oumoudou emphasized the need to defend democracy in West Africa and asked for help from the international community against the coup plotters. Stating that he went to Italy for an international meeting and could not return to his country because the coup plotters closed the borders, Mahmoudou stated that he was now in France. Regarding the coup, Mahmoudou said, "This is a disaster because Niger is a sensitive country. 4 million people have food problems and there are 300,000 refugees in the country," he said. Reminding the coup in Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea since 2020, Mahmoudou emphasized that if the coup administration in Niger is recognized, democracy in West Africa will be completely endangered. Mahmoudou said, "This is a matter of survival for the ECOWAS countries, which is Economic Community of West African States, and a matter of credibility for the international community. Niger must remain a democratic state. Niger is a cornerstone for promoting democracy in the region and curbing the spread of terrorism in countries in the south." In a related news, U.S. Secretary of State talks to Nigerian President. The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken discussed the coup in Niger in a phone call with President Mohamed Bazoum of Niger. According to the statement made by the U.S. Department of State, Blinken conveyed his unwavering support for Bazoum and Niger democracy, expressing that the U.S. rejects actions aimed at disrupting the constitutional order. Emphasizing that the U.S. supports the rule of law, Blinken stated that the people of Niger stand by the Economic Community of West African States, the African Union, and its international partners. President Mohamed Bazoum in Niger was detained by elements of the Presidential Guard Regiment on July 26th. And that evening, the military announced that it had seized power. General Abdurrahman Ömer Tichani, commander of the Presidential Guard Regiment, assumed the leadership of the National Council for the Protection of the Homeland, junta, on July 28 and became the self-declared head of the transitional government. Moving on to East Europe, Lukashenko comments on Wagner PMC and the Suwalki corridor. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko denied the allegations that Wagner fighters in his country were shifted to an area close to the Suwalki corridor on the Polish-Lithuanian border. According to the news agency, Lukashenko stated that Western politicians began to worry about the plans of Wagner fighters to supposedly invade the Suwalki corridor. Lukashenko said, "The Suwalki corridor is not in Belarus. We do not move along this corridor or towards this corridor. We have not needed it for millennia. The main thing is to remain calm." Lukashenko also noted that Belarus will move its troops within its territory as it sees fit. Lukashenko stated that the Wagner fighters created a defense within the plan based on their experience. Clarifying the earlier statement that the Wagner group wanted to go on attack to Poland, Lukashenko said it was a joke. Lukashenko, however, stated that thousands of Wagner warriors died in Bakhmut with weapons from the Polish city of Rzeszów, and that is why these fighters were furious against Poland. Noting that they prevented the Wagner group from infiltrating into Poland, Lukashenko asked the Warsaw administration to thank him for this. Explaining that he prevented a possible internal conflict by giving security guarantees to the Wagner fighters in their rebellion against Russia, Lukashenko stated that these fighters are experienced and now they are transferring their experience to the Belarusian soldiers free of charge. Stating that if necessary, the group could be moved for the training of Belarusian soldiers in Brest and Grodno. These men are near Osipovichi in central Belarus and are not going anywhere. They are used to following orders, Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko added. Greek journalist is on the world agenda after important confessions. Yorgos Paparistos, editor of Panea, one of the leading Greek newspapers, stated that the agency is not a Greek lake. Paparistos used very clear and sincere expressions on the problems in Turkish-Greek relations, stating that in accordance with the principle of equity, the west of the Aegean belongs to the Greece and the east to Turkey. Paparistos described the claims to extend the territorial waters to 12 nautical miles as just an absurd dream for Greece. Paparistos said, the Aegean isn't just Greek, and one of the reasons why the Aegean isn't just Greek is because of the movements of the tectonic plates made it that way. Emphasizing that Turkey also has rights in the Aegean Sea, Paparistos said, as long as we see the Aegean as our own, we will not have good neighborly relations. The Greek journalist openly said that Greece is responsible for the bad relations with Turkey. Protests grow in Turkey over the cancellation of Atatürk series by Disney+. Turkey's ruling Justice and Development Party Deputy Chairman and party spokesperson Ömer Çelik reacted to the cancellation of the Atatürk series by the United States-based TV series platform Disney+. In his post on his social media account, Çelik said, it is shameful that an American-based TV platform succumbed to pressure from the Armenian lobby and canceled the TV series Atatürk without airing. This attitude of the platform in question is disrespectful to the values of the Republic of Turkey and to our nation. As we have stated on various occasions before, this so-called genocide network in the USA is using historical events as a tool for the politics of lies. The sole purpose of this lobby is to prevent the normalization of Turkey-Armenia relations, as has been repeatedly seen. The activities of these networks have no effect before Atatürk and the Republic of Turkey. Shame on those who succumbed to these networks. And staying in Turkey, 3 members of the terrorist organization were neutralized in the north of Iraq. 3 terrorists from the separatist terrorist organization PKK were neutralized in the Operation Kurrak region in the north of Iraq. A statement from the Ministry of National Defense read, there is no place for terrorists to run. Nowhere is safe for them. 3 PKK terrorists detected in ZAP, the Operation Kurrak region in north of Iraq, and they were neutralized. We are determined to dry terrorism at its source. In its more than 40-year terror campaign against Turkey, the PKK, listed as a terrorist organization by Turkey, the US, UK, and the EU, has been responsible for the deaths of more than 40,000 people, including women, children, and infants. Death toll of heat wave in South Korea reaches 23, according to the news of Yonhap, which is based on a statement of the firefighting officials. The temperatures that exceed the seasonal norms throughout the country continue to affect life negatively. The number of people who lost their lives due to the extreme heat in the country rose to 23, which is almost 3 times the number of people who died due to heat wave in 2023. Meanwhile, the Seoul government's highest warning for the heat wave remains at its serious level. For the first time since 2019, a serious warning was issued in the country. On the days of July 29th and 30th, 17 people lost their lives in South Korea due to temperatures reaching 35 degrees Celsius in the shade, exceeding the seasonal norms, and 73 people applied to hospitals with the complaint of sunstroke. And finally, in sports news, legendary Italian keeper ends his career. Gianluigi Buffon, one of the legendary goalkeepers of Italian football, announced that he quit football at the age of 45. Buffon said goodbye with the note, "Thanks for everything," shared on his social media account. Transferring from Parma to Juventus for €52,880,000 in the 1994-95 season, the Italian goalkeeper achieved many important successes in his long-term Italian adventure. Buffon, who protected the goal of the Torino team for a long time, made his way to France in the 2018-19 season and signed for Paris Saint-Germain. Throughout his career, Buffon won 10 Serie A, 10 Italian Super Cups, 6 Italian Cups, 1 French First Division, 1 French Super Cup, 1 UEFA Cup, 1 World Cup, 1 European Under-21 Championship. Although he had the chance to play in the finals twice, Buffon could not reach the victory in the Champions League, however. Gianluigi Buffon played a total of 975 games, in 429 of which he ended the game without conceding any goals. And that was news in English on the Voice of Turkey.